Art History Online presents The Nigth Watch. Rembrandt was a 17th century Baroque painter during the Dutch Golden Age. The original title of the Nigth Watch is Militia Company of District 2 under the command of Captain Frans Banning Kok. The oil and canvas painting is signed and dated with Rembrandt F. 1642. F is an abbreviation for the Latin word fecit, which means he made. The Nigth Watch is commissioned by Captain Frans Banning Kok and the 17 other members of his civic militia guard. The painting was destined for the banquet hall of the newly built headquarters of this specific militia guard. Nowadays the painting is hung in the Nigth Watch gallery in the Rijksmuseum Amsterdam. With its monumental measurements, about 4 by 4.5 meters, it's an impressive work of art. Imagine the figures are life-size. The oil on canvas painting weighs 170 kilos, and with frame even more, 337 kilos. Originally, the painting was even bigger. When the Nigth Watch was moved from the headquarters to the town hall in 1715, it was trimmed to fit its new destination. A 17th century copy of the Nigth Watch by Gerrit Lundens at the National Gallery in London shows the original composition. As you can see, the trimming altered the painting quite a bit. 2 characters, the balustrade, part of the arch, and the steps were removed. These lost parts were major elements in the composition, suggesting spaciousness and forward motion. Painting commission portraits was a common practice for Rembrandt, though the Nigth Watch is the biggest and most famous he made. In case of militiamen group portraits, each man pays for his own portrait. The more one pays, the more prominently he will be depicted. In the 17th century, numerous portraits of militia companies were made, and they all look alike, a static, ordered group of men with their leader. These kind of paintings should tell the people that these men are trustworthy, honorable, and capable of protecting the city, even though at this time militia companies were nothing but male drinking clubs. At first sight, you'll notice Rembrandt's Nigth Watch isn't static at all. It's very dynamic. He doesn't depict a lined-up guard, but one on the move, getting ready for a ceremonial parade. The captain commands his men to march. We can see different facial expressions, a variety of poses and gestures. The shooters are preparing their weapons, the banners are up in the air, the drummer is ready to drum, men are talking, children are running, and the dog is barking. Excitement is all around. The composition exists of diagonal lines in contrary directions, a zigzag to create the suggestion of space and movement, with the heavy architecture to ground the movement. This dynamic composition is what makes the Nigth Watch a groundbreaking work of art. Rembrandt learned this use of vivid compositions by looking at work by Flemish early Baroque painter Rubens. Besides the composition, the ordonnance is a major contributor to the suggestion of space. The use of several planes and overlap create a sense of spaciousness. Though the painting is quite dark of color, before the restoration in the 1940s, it was much darker. For a long time it was covered with a varnish, and because of this varnish, people thought it was a night scene, resulting in the common name, the Nigth Watch. Besides the black and browns, Rembrandt used bright reds, yellows, and white. These colors reoccur in the entire painting. But we can also see the guards' colors in the banner, blue and yellow. To increase the dynamics and the ambience of excitement, Rembrandt applied great contrasts of light and dark. His use of this technique, called Chiaroscuro, is influenced by 16th century Italian painter Caravaggio. The well-thought-of lighting and shading brings the eye of the viewer directly to the main characters, which are the 2 men in the center and the girl on the left. The central men are Captain Frans Banning Kok on the left, and his lieutenant on the right. Looking very closely, we can see a remarkable detail. The shadow of the captain's hand points at 3 small X's on the lieutenant's jacket. The 3 X's could stand for the city symbol of Amsterdam, pointing out that the guard will protect the city in times of need. Another remarkable detail is the pair of gloves in the captain's right hand. This could indicate that he is challenging someone, as the expression goes, "throw down the gloves," or it could represent his willingness for battle. The girl in yellow presumably is the symbol of this guard, kind of a mascot. She's carrying various symbolic objects. The dead chicken and the weapon represent the Dutch word for shooters of a musket, which these militiamen are. The chicken also represents the defeated opponent, and the yellow color of the dress is symbolic for victory. The oak leaves on the helmet of the boy behind the captain, next to the little girl, symbolizes heroism. All these symbols are supposed to contribute to the function of the portrait, to show the people that the civil guard of Frans Banningkock is loyal, strong, brave, heroic and victorious. No earlier artist had portrayed himself so frequently as Rembrandt did. It is rumored that he also depicted himself in this painting. Can you find his self-portrait? Here he is, hidden behind 2 shooters, referred to as the one-eyed man. In just a few minutes you've learned the major facts about Rembrandt's Nigth Watch. What makes this portrait of the militiaman so special are its colossal measurements, the innovative dynamic composition, and the brilliant use of Chiaroscuro. Thank you for watching this video by Art History Online. If you have any questions or requests, please comment.